Hello, friends. Welcome to Mind Parachute Show. In Mind Parachute Show, I always try to get the best of the best person on the topic. So today, for developing effective sales roadmap for any business, we have an expert with us. That's none other than Mr. Asheesh Bhimsaria. Ashish ji, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Milind.
As a show name is Mind Parachute. So parachute works when it is open, man, and even mind works when it is open. So to open our mind today on sales aspect, we are going to discuss today with Mr. Asheesh Bhimsaria. So, Asheesh Bhimsaria is a management postgraduate by qualification, having spent more than 25 years, odd years, working with various brands and selling different products and solutions. He started his own entity by name Neo Pro. He's also passionate for traveling and cooking. While working with several small business owners, Ashish experienced that while most of them focus on sales, they fail to understand the significance of effective marketing. For many, both these words are synonyms for each other. Through Neopro, Ashish worked with them with a following philosophy. Every brand is a story, and there is a story behind every brand. So Ashish works with the businesses to identify their brand story, package it effectively to communicate to their world. While doing so, ensures a sustainable and organic sales to the brand. That's the expertise of the Ashish Bhimsaria. Ashish, once again, welcome on Mind Parachute Show.
Thanks a lot, Milind. That was a fabulous introduction, and I'm actually so flattered. And knowing you, I know I was expecting something like this because it is almost now 5 years that we know each other. So
If
knowing
I'm
you,
not wrong, I think it is, we started in 2010. So it is 10 years now, 2020 today.
oh God.
I am Pakka salesman. I will not forget my client when I started dealing with my client.
Fantastic, Milind. So thanks a lot for this. Was a lovely introduction, and I'm so happy to be here on your show.
Wow. Friends, we are doing this show live on Facebook and YouTube, Mind Parachute Show channel. So I request all the new visitors to please like Facebook page of Mind Parachute Show and also subscribe to YouTube channel of Mind Parachute Show. You will also get an opportunity to interact with our speaker today. And I request all the live audience to please comment your queries, your question related to today's topic in comment box, so that if time permits and if our guest allows me, I will be happy to take your queries too while on the live show. So moving forward, my first question to you is, how and why did you decided to get into sales?
How it was like this, Milind, that immediately after while I was completing my graduation,
Mm-hmm.
I could sense that meeting people, traveling, making or putting my point across, these were certain things which really, excited me. And
Okay.
at that time, we had our family business,
Mm-hmm.
and we were as a business, we were struggling in our sales. So that was the point wherein it triggered to me that why not I start taking over a sales of that. And
Mm-hmm.
when I started to work on that, I could my I could get encouraged with the results that were coming, which I could deliver. The way I could get the testimonials from my client about, so that really gave me a lot of motivation, encouragement. Yes, this is something which I was getting too passionate about. So answering
Mm-hmm.
your question, that how, so I think this was something, this attribute of my personality, meeting
Mm-hmm.
people, coming across. interacting with them, understanding their story, understanding their business was something really which excited me. So that is
Wow.
how I got into this wonderful function called sales.
Wow. I think your friend Mr. Darpan Mehta is online and watching the show.
Hi,
If
Darpan.
I'm not wrong, Darpan Mehta is the same guy I met through your reference 10 years back. He's a RJ, voiceover artist, sorry, voiceover artist. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. He's an authority in voiceover, and he's a very, very close and dear friend. We are school buddies, actually.
So, Darpanji, thanks for watching this live show and encouraging us and by saying hi on the live show. I'll be happy to connect with you and very happy to have one show with you on Mind Parachute Show. Wow, wow, that's an amazing start. So, can you please give a snapshot of your journey in this fantasy world called sales?
So, journey has been very, very, very enterprising, adventurous, or whatever are the adjectives that I can describe it. So, professionally speaking, I started with selling credit cards, and while it was a 6 month assignment with one of the leading brands selling credit cards, leading bank.
Mm-hmm.
So it was as I said, it was a 6 months assignment, and I could achieve the target which was given to me for 6 months. I could achieve it in a span of some 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the time when I got an opportunity with one of the most aspirational brand for any salesperson, which is Levers. So anyone who is
Oh,
aspiring to have a career in sales or marketing, so Levers is like a Makkah Madina for him.
correct.
So I got an opportunity over there, working with Levers for almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
That was the realization that I got, that unless I have some kind of a post graduation, my
Mm-hmm.
growth, the career growth would be stagnant, would be limited to a certain extent, and then I would have to spend X number of years to advance to a next level. So after spending a year, I could afford to take a break around that time. So took a break, did my post graduation for 2 years, and during my post graduation, I read this theory of constraints. So I was interested to spend some time in an organization which was working towards supply chain management solutions. Spent
Okay.
some 3-4 years there, then moved on to some medical device organization, heading their entire sales. Again, spent almost 4 years there. After that, it was a British brand called, which was into regulatory affairs
Mm-hmm.
services. So
Mm-hmm.
working with these various brands, my realization was I could spend not more than 3.5, 4 years with each of the brand, because it was getting too monotonous selling the same thing day in, day out. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the point of time when that thought started to develop in myself, that how about if I get an opportunity to work with several brands,
Mm-hmm.
helping them in their sales and marketing, and achieve whatever are the challenges that they are facing, address them in a rightful manner. So these were the thought that was starting to develop within me, and that is how, almost now 4.5 or 5 years back, that was the inceptualization of NeoPro. So wherein the thought was that we would work with the small and the mid-sized businesses, understand their business, understand their market, and work towards excelling their marketing, excelling their sales. So this has been the journey, and now with NeoPro, we are working towards the same principle, the same philosophy. So that is how the journey has been so far, Milind. It is almost 23 years now.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. I mean, 25 years of big experience. So,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
really helpful
Journey.
for all the audience who are watching this show live and also after the show, who will watch it, repeat telecast. So, after doing, sales for so many years, what is
Yeah.
your learning which you would like to share with the aspiring sales professionals?
Couple of them. One and the most important learning, Milind, is having that conviction.
Mm-hmm.
because sales is my learning, my understanding of about sales after so many years that I've spent in this, uh, is there is no one who can call himself or herself as an expert in sales, because something that works for someone may not work with others. So it is
Correct.
how you put across your point. And I do not mean the words that you use in your pitch, the conviction, which is very, very
Mm-hmm.
evident with the ownership that you have towards the product. So it is not whether you are a business owner or you are working in an organization, unless you have that kind of a conviction, that kind of an ownership towards the product, towards the services that you are selling, nothing
Mm-hmm.
is going to work out for you in sales. That is my learning for sure. And to make another point here, today also, whenever I get a confirmation for any meeting, my excitement to go and attend that meeting is exactly same as it was 25 years back.
Wow.
The moment I
That's
take a
really
plan,
amazing.
yeah, that is something which is very, very exciting about what I find about my profession and about myself. That excitement, the moment I get from my team that there is a meeting confirmation or a concall, the excitement or the enthusiasm to get participate into that is extremely infectious. So that is something which I would like to share with the audience, with anyone who is watching this show, that that has to be an integral part of your, of your work practices, that you have to have that 100% conviction or that ownership. Unless that is there, don't even attempt doing any sale, because I know it is not going to work.
Wow. Wow. See,
So
conviction is very important. That's why I always tell people, let's say if Mahindra is making Mahindra car, and if Anand Mahindra is not using his own car,
yeah,
you know, and he is traveling in always in Mercedes or BMW, that means he is not confident by his own product. So how can he tell others to buy his product?
beautiful example. This
So
is a
it's
beautiful example.
very it's very important that whatever you are selling, you must be convinced 200%, and then only you should jump into this profession, or you should even think of meeting your customer. Because the way we speak, the body language we carry, it comes only with strong conviction. Unless
Absolutely.
you are not 100% into that product or service, you cannot even think of going and facing the client, because he will ask you 100 questions. Even if single question is not answered, things are not going to work. So the point noted is conviction. You need to have 100% confidence in your product, that it is a best product, and then with that confidence you can face customer and close any deal. Wow,
On
that's
that note,
really amazing.
I will quickly share two examples here, Milind, which furthermore reinforces this point. One is I have a very, very close friend who is working with this Tatas, and I'm
Hmm.
telling you, I am an outsider. I do not have any clue about that brand other than
Okay.
what all of us know. But then interacting with them, looking at his conviction and respect towards the brand, I have developed so much of respect towards that brand. Just out
Wow.
of that is what I define, that ownership you talk about conviction. And another thing is, within my team also, the one thing which I always make it a point, or when I talk to them, is a testimony that whether you are 100% you have that conviction towards the brand that you are marketing or selling. A testimony to that is when whoever is the prospect that you're talking to, the moment he or she realizes that you are not a business, aren't you a business owner of that, you're just working, that is a clear testimony
Yes.
that yes, you are having 100%
Yes.
ownership.
Yes.
That is the
Yeah.
point I'm
So
trying
the
to.
point noted, if you are into a sales profession and if you are interacting with any customer over a phone, across a table, now
Yes,
lockdown is there, so across a table is difficult, but on Zoom call or any other net meeting and all, if the customer says, "Are you the owner of this business?"
yes,
That means you are doing brilliant work.
perfect, perfect.
Amazing.
That is a
Amazing.
testimony.
Thanks for sharing this very valid point. I mean, Even wherever I used to work earlier, now I'm doing business, but before that, whenever I used to go, literally people used to ask me, "Are you the owner?" And if they don't know who the boss is, they will ask this question to me, "Are you the owner?" So that means that feedback is rich. Yes, whatever I did is 100% correct. Wow, amazing. So moving forward, I would like to ask you, what is your definition of effective sales? This is something which I really want to know from sales, sales, sales. But what is effective sales? That I want to know from you.
If I were to define that this terminology, I would call it as entire organization, whether it is finance, whether it is production. While each of the function is vital, is important, but
Mhm.
then the entire function, entire organization has to work in tandem with the sales, because
Absolutely.
we have to accept this thing that sales is the nervous system of your organization. अगर वहां पे कुछ अगर हो गया तो फिर बाकी सारी चीजें धरी की धरी रह जाती है.
It's a
So
blood for the organization.
it is a blood, कुछ भी बोलो, अगर sales नहीं है तो फिर क्या है?
Correct, correct.
Just look at these big brands. Some examples around us. Take an example of Zara हो गया या Pepsi, Coke हो गया. Now, if you take Pepsi in India, if you drink Pepsi in US or some other countries, there is a striking difference. There is a striking difference in the taste.
Yes, yes.
Now, the team which is there in the research and development, they get the right insights about the market, about the taste of the market, about the preferences of the market. That is how they develop the product. They work on the product. So this is what I mean to say when you ask me to define an effective sales. So entire organization has to work in tandem with the sales team. That is when you can call yourself that you have an effective sales roadmap in your.
Wow, that's really awesome. I knew one, example when there was a
Mhm.
big fight among a technical team and a sales team. Technical team was fighting that we are the best, we are making best product. That's why sales team is able to sell it. And sales team was saying, because we are able to do excellent sales, you are able to do more R&D and make your
Yes,
product better and
yes.
better. So that battle was going on, and finally, who is the winner. Sales team is always a winner, because however good the product is, if it is not sold, it is of no use.
Absolutely. You have put it as a blunt manner as it could have been.
So, no offense
Okay.
to other departments, as you rightly said when
Not
you
at all,
started with
not
the
at all.
answer. Every department has to work in hand. So that coordination is very important. But however good the product, I'm a firm believer of this. However good the product is, if it is not sold, it is of no use. It's like, see, salesman can do anything. I mean, it is very easy. If he's a hardcore salesman, he can sell anything, anywhere, anytime. So there's a famous story, selling fish to an Eskimo. I'm sure you must be knowing this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So salesman is like this, can go anywhere and sell anything. He's always positive. He'll always look for something which clicks, and somehow he'll achieve his sales figure. That is what salesman is. And those who enjoy sales, they can do anything, anywhere. They cannot sit idle and they cannot chill out. Now there's a lockdown. Salesman is impatient because he is habituated to interact with people,
Yeah.
talk with them. If I'm a married man, I will not convince my wife. I will get different answers. But if I go out and talk to people, or on Zoom call or on net meetings, I
Mhm.
can do much better. So salesman cannot sit idle if he's loving his job. Wow, this is
Absolutely.
amazing. I mean, we are
That is
progressing
a very,
very
very
well.
integral personality trait of a salesperson.
Yes, yes. So moving forward, I would like to ask you, how can a business devise and an effective sales roadmap for their business? Can you please throw some light on this?
Uh, the most important aspect while in the process to start devising your effectiveness in sales is to
Mhm.
understand your business. It
Hmm.
may sound very trivial, Milind, but then it is extremely important because I have interacted with so many business owners, and
Hmm.
it is extremely, extremely surprising that many of them do not have a
Hmm.
total clarity about their own business. When I
Hmm.
say clarity
Unfortunately,
about their own business, yeah, you're saying something?
unfortunately, they don't know this, that they are doing business and they don't know how to reach to the goal.
Yes, because see, when I entered into management school, the first lesson that was taught to me in marketing was the moment you target universe for your product, you are doomed. So that is one of the most important lesson that I have learned, that you have to be absolutely clear about your business, about your market, and identify the customer demographics or their buying behaviors. That is the first step towards developing an effective sales roadmap for your brand, because
Hmm.
it is going to involve efforts. It is not that trivial, that simple, but then it is going to pay off in a very short, because any which ways, until and unless you know your market, you know their buying behaviors, you know how your product or services is making difference to their life, their world, how is it that you are going to make your sales pitch? So if
Absolutely.
to answer your question, the most important two-step: understand your business vis-a-vis competition, and understand a very clear and micro level understanding of your market.
Wow, wow. Excellent. See, Ashish ji is sharing pearls of wisdom. I mean, he is sharing his experience of sales. So, all those who are watching this show live, please comment on this live show. And if you have any query related to typical sales query, if you have about if there is any challenge in current ongoing scenario about sales, so please put your comments in comment box. I'll be happy to answer those questions to Ashish ji if time permits. Those who are watching this show on Facebook shared watch party or in other groups, I request them to come on the live show link and comment, because if you comment there on a watch party, I cannot see it on the streaming link. It is there on those groups. So in order to get solution to your problems, current problem related to sales, please come on the live show and ask. So I think one more friend is joined. Mr. Sharat Chaudhary is saying hi. Thanks, Sharat, for watching this show live. Thank you so much. Wow. So this is so far so good. And my next question is, what are the roadblocks in effective sales?
One of the biggest roadblock that I have experienced, Milind, is having, we say that sales is the most vital function of an organization, but roadblock is that desperation. When we talk about small or the mid-sized business owners, my experience is that desperation for sales is
Mm-hmm.
something which is killing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand one like I'll share here an example. Like when I work with levers now, as a salesperson, if I was given a territory. Now, any territory, in that territory, whenever I visited any shop,
Mm-hmm.
I never ever had to explain them about my product. If I'm selling him Lux, Lifebuoy, Surf Excel or Vim Popular, the moment I tell him कि मैं Surf Excel बेचने आया हूँ या Lifebuoy बेचने आया हूँ, वो बंदा
Mm-hmm.
समझ गया क्या है. Now my job as a salesperson was, if he's ordering 1 dozen or 2 dozens, my job as a salesperson was वो 2 दर्जन को 5 दर्जन करना. Now,
Okay.
in this scenario, when what I was talking to you about this, that desperation, that point that I was talking to, now we need
Mm-hmm.
to understand one fact very clearly, that unless the market is familiar with your brand, how the hell is your sales person going to get the numbers? जब आप
Mm-hmm.
उसको मेजर कर रहे हो सिर्फ सेल्स नंबर्स पे, लेकिन उसका काम तो बेचारे का जो मार्केटिंग वालों ने आपके है ही नहीं, है उन्होंने जो काम नहीं किया उसका तो पहले तो वो काम कर रहा है. He is trying to establish a brand presence. He's trying to establish a credibility about your brand. And once all those things has happened successfully, then the opportunity comes for him to talk about sales. And then by the time he starts to discuss about that, the owner has already started to feel restless. ये बंदा कुछ काम ही नहीं कर रहा है, निकालो उसे. This is something which I would like to highlight here, that what you asked me, the roadblock, one of the very, very important roadmap or roadblock in this is that desperation. You have to have a clear understanding of the sales process. ऐसा नहीं है कि you just hire a person and then keep pressurizing him and he will deliver the number. It cannot happen that way. Even if it happens, it is just going to happen one-off. We are not targeting one-off transactions. We are targeting organic sales for an organization, a sustainable sales. So for
Correct.
that, one of the biggest roadmap that I would like to highlight, don't get into the trap of being desperate.
Okay.
There are a lot many. I can just go on and on, Milind, if the time permits. If you ask me, I can just continue endlessly. I can go on talking about roadblock. But this is something which I found, which I thought this is the most important thing to highlight here.
All right. All right. So moving forward, my next question to you is, what are common practices in sales which, according to you, must be avoided?
Say one is that aggression to close the numbers.
Aggression to close the numbers. Okay.
Yes,
That should be avoided.
that has to be. We have to understand, as I told you, that we have to understand the market, their buying behaviors, and then understand our own self. Have we done a solid marketing wherein we can demand numbers from the sales guys? If the answer is no, which is the case in most of the small and the medium-sized businesses that we are referring to, in that case, the barrier to sale, the roadblock, or the trap which should be avoided getting into is give a proper build an environment wherein an organization can get sustainable sales. How do you build that environment? Is by identifying the market, creating an awareness about your brand in that, and most important thing is making your offer. You cannot have a single offer for all your market. If you are segmenting your market based on demography, based on geography, you have to customize your offer to each of those segments. Then you are going to have a breakthrough. And we have so many examples around us, so many successful examples who testifies the point that I'm trying to convey. There are so many live examples around us wherein they have, for the same product, they have tailor-made it as per the market that they are approaching to. And they have got a success out of it. Netflix, take an example about, because since lockdown, I'm sure most of us are hooked on to Netflix.
Online streaming channels.
Streaming channel. The kind of content that we see here in India is totally different from what we see perhaps in US or some other country. It is because they have made the same product. Netflix is the same. The name, brand name is same. Everything is same. But they have customized for the Indian audience.
Correct. Wow. So this was amazing sharing on sales and doing effective sales and all. So moving forward, apart from all these things, I know the purpose of starting NeoPro. Okay.
Yeah.
NeoPro is specialized in outsourcing of sales. Okay.
Right.
So if I'm running a business and I have some challenges in doing my sales, so I can approach Asheesh Bhimsaria and then I can totally outsource my sales activity to NeoPro, to Asheesh Bhimsaria team. Okay. So what I liked about this gentleman is he says, I will take total accountability about sales. So guys, if you are having any challenge doing sales on your own, that means you need to contact Asheesh Bhimsaria and take his help in understanding sales cycle. He is consultant too, but moreover, he can bring business to your table. That's his forte. So those who are willing to connect with Mr. Asheesh Bhimsaria, they can connect with you on your email, if I'm not wrong.
Absolutely, Milind.
And your email ID is?
My email ID is Asheesh. I spell it as ASHEESH at neo hyphen pro.in. So it is Asheesh at neo-pro.in.
Yeah. So the email ID is shown on the screen. It is Ashish at neo-pro.in. He is really pro. I don't know the meaning of neo, but he is really pro, sales pro. So guys, those who are looking to have sales strategies for their business and even thinking of doing sales department outsourcing, Ashish ji takes total accountability. Recently, one of my friend has contacted Ashish ji, and after one or two meetings on net meeting or Zoom call, finally it is through, and they are moving ahead. So, like this, there are so many stories. So, can you name some of the stories? If you don't have a non-disclosure agreement with those clients, because generally clients put this clause, do not disclose our name in public domain. If any of the client whose work are you are doing, if you can talk about that, what all types of work you are doing for the companies.
So, as you have already put it down very beautifully, that we take a complete ownership, but at the same time, I always ensure to make this point very clearly to whoever brands that I'm collaborating with is, yes, I am going to take ownership of the sales, but that anyways, in by any standard, it doesn't mean that Ashish comes with some magical van in his hand. Because Milind, I've honestly, I've burnt my hands on this aspect, because whichever brand that I start to interact with,
हाँ,
somehow they get this notion that abhi Ashish aa gaya hai and he's going to take ownership
हो
of the sale.
जाएगा.
Now, when I say my sale is 1 lakh rupees per month, abhi ye mahine ke end se this 1 lakh will become 10 CR. So it is just I'm taking I nowadays I make it very clear to all whoever brands, whoever clients that I work with, that don't assume or by any chance don't get this expectation that Ashish is some some sales magician. He
हाँ,
is just a simple sales professional who is going to ensure to put across the right processes in place. Because what I strongly believe in is, if you have the right processes in place, there is no way you cannot achieve unlimited sales. But then it doesn't, by any standard, it doesn't mean that I am a magician who is going to come, spin some kind of a van और ये जादू हो जाएगा. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. So on
आप
that
आप
note,
बोलो, I know you are a magician. I have seen how you are transform your customers, and that is the reason customers are coming back to you again and again. Otherwise, it's not possible to run, outsource sales business model for so many years. Okay, so I know you're a magician. It's, though you say you are not, I know you are. So there's one very challenging question has come from the audience. I would like to take this thing. Swag boat. Okay. The question is, what has been your most challenging sales experience? Come on, man.
fantastic.
How can you
And
ask challenging experience to a salesperson? Every day is challenge, and every experience is challenging experience. But yes, वो salesperson क्या जो challenge accept ना करे.
so I would narrate a story here. It is a real life. I'm very excited or enthusiastic to answer this question, Milind. So it was like this, that before I started NeoPro, I was working with this Brit organization.
Mhm.
Now all the selection, everything was done, and then after the selection, I was called in. They had their head office in London, so I was called there for my induction. So
Mhm.
went there, and my immediate boss was a Brit.
Mhm.
Now I had during my final interview, I had seen how ruthlessly they
Mhm.
had removed the person who was earlier holding the same position which I was getting into. How
Mhm.
ruthlessly they had asked him to leave because of non-performance.
Mhm.
And still I was getting into that role, wherein most of my friends and network within relative within my network, they dissuaded me to accept that role. So
Mm-hmm.
going back to that incident, so I was in London. We had a beautiful training. First day happened very nicely. We had a wonderful training session wherein the chairman and all the different people from different organized functions, they came and give that induction. In the
Mm-hmm.
evening, while coming, we used the staircase, and me and my boss, both of us were coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me, in a very, very politely, he gave me a mandate that Ashish, all your every selection, everything is done, and CTC, jitna aapne bola, everything has been given as per. We never negotiated with you. Now our
Mm-hmm.
expectation is by end of the year, you have to get 10 times of the CTC what we are giving to you, and if
Wow,
that doesn't
again, a magician expect. Even your boss was expecting.
so that
There is
was the
this
mandate.
lady, Priyana, she's saying, I agree, he's a magician. Thanks,
So,
Priyana.
so sweet of you, Brianna. Thanks a lot. But I would still not want to take that adjective for myself, because that creates lot of problem to me.
I'm sure whatever target was given by your boss of that company, 10x growth in sales, I'm sure you must have achieved that.
So I was just answering that question. What was my most challenging? So it was almost 9.5 months has gone by, and I had not cracked even a single sale, and
Oh,
was literally on fire.
okay.
And but then that desperation, so I would add one more. When you ask me this question, Milind, that certain traits or that salesperson, what is something that has worked for me? So yes,
Mhm.
conviction I already discussed, we have discussed about that. Another is, you have to be completely desperate. You have to be on fire to close. That is one more trait that I would like to add, because that desperation, because I was at that time, more than the success, I was so desperate and shit scared about that failure, because I
Mhm.
did not wanted that tag on myself. Ki Ashish is not the brand who is going to pack. Even if I have to pack my bags, I have to do it after delivering what I have committed to. So
Correct.
that was the most challenging thing. And 9.5 months was the time wherein we cracked the sale. And then in the remaining 2.5 months, we managed to bring the numbers, which was almost what 7 times of what was expected out of me. So
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
was a superb, awesome experience. Or answering your question, what was the most challenging? So that was the most challenging moment for me. कि 12 महीने का समय है, 9 महीने ऑलरेडी निकल चुके हैं, 3 महीने में कुछ क्रैक करना है. So I can, if we connect on a one-to-one basis, I will be happy to, take you through much more detailed experience about how we managed to crack that deal, because that is also a very, very interesting story behind that how we cracked. But then I guess we are hard pressed on the time right now, so I cannot get into too much of detailing on that. But that is also a very, very interesting story.
So my last question on this show today is during the pandemic when everything is closed down, meeting client is not possible one to one across a table. So now, how are you managing your sales? Because your client may be having that expectation too from you.
Correct. Just because FaceTime is still happening, Milind. It is just that physically you are unable to meet. But then we are having innumerable FaceTime through Zoom call or Skype, whatever we may say. But then we are having a lot many, and you also would be seeing that since the lockdown started, the kind of web sessions or the webinar or live sessions they are happening. It is humongous numbers of sessions are going on. So that is making a huge impact. And one more aspect is going digital, because almost 4 months back that you were
Mhm.
still having option whether to adapt to the digital outburst which is going on into the market or no. But
Correct, correct.
discussing about it right now, you do not have that option, right? If you are not adapting to the digital media, you are already wiped out from the market.
Now you
So
don't have option. You have to adapt to the
you have to,
change.
yeah, you have to, yeah, yeah. You do
Nobody
not have
was talking about Zoom before pandemic. Now everybody is talking about Zoom, and that is from
it is
nowhere. It has become such a big brand. Look at the share
Just think about
prices.
it, Milan. Just 2 days back, I there is a water vendor who comes into our complex, and
Uh-huh.
just look at the state of affairs, the cycle in which I ordered him and I cleared his payment. He was there on WhatsApp. I just texted him, I want certain thing to be delivered. And
Mhm.
next day, he delivered. I get a message on WhatsApp that your order has been fulfilled. And then I asked him about the payment. He's sharing his GPay, Google Pay number on to me that, sir, you can transfer the payment through Google Pay.
Wow.
If a person like that can
Amazing transformation.
adapt,
And digital going on digital mode and digital payment is
yes,
actually a survival. See,
absolutely.
imagine where we were handling cash for our transaction and all. Now, suppose before the pandemic, the transaction has happened, and now you are actually supposed to get money from vendor or from client. And if there is no digital method, then what will happen? You are not able to go, he is not able to come to your place. But just because of digital payment mode, we all
Absolutely.
are survived. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult time. Okay, with this we have come to the end of the show, and there's one your live audience is asking Duck Trump. Okay, if you remove duck, then it is a Donald Trump, the president,
Wow.
asking
This
asking what
is
are your
fabulous.
hobbies? Man, I would like to answer this question on behalf of Ashish ji. Uh, there are five things. One, he loves traveling. That is his hobby, which I quoted in his introduction. Second, he loves cooking. So apart from sales, he has a YouTube channel for cooking also. He himself is cooking, and um, I think your wife is not. She's happy. I mean, she's okay.
और
Okay.
इससे ज़्यादा कुछ मत बोलना मिलिंद, मर जाएंगे.
And third thing is he's a passionate sales professional. He loves doing sale. And fifth is he loves taking outsourced sales business for his business Neopro. So guys, it was fun talking to Ashish ji. He shared a very valid experience of his 25 odd years. So those who wish to connect with Ashish ji, if you are facing any query related to sales, feel free to ask him on Ashish at neopro.in, neo-pro.in. He is an amazing person. Whether it is related to business or anything, if any query related to your profession sales challenge, I'm sure he will add some value to your challenge, which will turn out to be a great solution for your career, for your business. And if you are a businessman and wish to outsource your business sales department, then I will highly recommend the Asheesh Bhimsaria of Neo Pro. So, friend,
Thanks a
thanks
lot,
for
Milind.
watching this show online. Please like Facebook page of Mind Parachute Show and subscribe to YouTube channel of Mind Parachute Show so that you will get updates on all upcoming shows. So, your closing statement, Ashish ji.
Thanks a lot, Milind. First of all, before because for that beautiful introduction, it is very heartening, very flattering. So that was very beautiful. The closing statement is enjoy, be passionate about what you're doing.
Be passionate about what you are doing. And while going on the closing statement, yes, Priyana has said Ashish is a person who will definitely put a
Thanks a
lot of
lot, Rina. That was
value to the
very sweet.
same. Thank you so much, friends, for watching this show live. Connect with Ashish ji on Ashish at neo-pro.in, and Shabakher, take care, stay home, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and for more wealthy